Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Just wanted to check in. So, a couple of things. Most of you have turned in your informative speech. Good job. I'm about halfway through grading them, so some of you have received your grades. Everybody else should expect them by today, tomorrow morning at the latest. For your next steps, basically, so the next thing that you should be working on after you've finished your informative speech, if you haven't finished your informative speech, please still turn it in to me. But the next step after that should be to go online onto Blackboard and take the quiz for chapters 9 and 10. And there are 15 questions for each of the chapters, and it's all true, false, multiple choice. After that, after you do the quiz for chapters 9 and 10, your next step is going to be your persuasive speech. And so I want to talk a little bit today about choosing a topic for a persuasive speech. So some of you have already, in a past speech, presented a topic that seemed like a persuasive speech topic, and so I may have told you that and asked you to save it for this speech. So some of you are ahead of the game when it comes to this last speech. The lecture for Wednesday is going to be telling you how to format the speech, so you have that all set and ready to go. All of the information is already on Blackboard right now, so there is a folder that has persuasive speeches. There's the outline, the rubric. The outline is going to be a little bit different. Everybody's using the motivated sequence design for this speech, and I'm going to be going over that in the lecture on Wednesday. But today what I want to talk about is choosing a topic. So you should all come on Wednesday with an idea of what you want your topic to be. And so there's a few things to consider. So we talk about if you have a purpose for giving a speech, if you are decided about why you want to give a speech, your goal for giving the speech, there's some different things that you can choose to do. You can inform the audience, you can motivate the audience, you can persuade your audience, or you can coerce your audience. And so informing is what you've been doing for your first three speeches. Your first three speeches are informational speeches. You told us information about yourself, you told us information about how to do something, and this last speech you gave us information on just a general topic. So all three of your first speeches have been informative speeches. The next speech is going to be a persuasive speech. And a persuasive speech is basically when you are trying to convince an audience of your point of view. So this should be a topic where not everybody's in agreement on. If you do a speech on cotton candy and you give us the history of cotton candy and that type of thing, these are facts, they're not disputable. But there are some topics in when your goal is to persuade your audience. Your goal is to change their mind or change their opinion about something and present them with information that makes a case for one side or the other. Coke is better than Pepsi, whatever. And so that's what this final speech is a speech of persuasion, where you're persuading the audience towards one side or another. Now, there's a couple things that you want to keep in mind. So what I don't want you to do is a motivational speech. And motivational speeches, and again, depending on which book you read, some people are going to use these two things interchangeably. But when I think about a motivational speech versus a persuasive speech, a motivational speech, it seems like a persuasive speech, and you're trying to get them to do something. But some topics for motivational speeches might be how to be more successful, how to lose weight, how to be a better person, these types of things. And the key difference between a motivational and a persuasive speech is that in a motivational speech, there's no detractors. Everybody, you don't go to somebody and say, I'm going to teach you how to make more money. There aren't a lot of people that are like, no, making more money is terrible. I'm going to teach you how to have more self-esteem. No, having self-esteem is bad. And there's some nuances to that. But basically the idea is when you're giving a motivational speech, everybody already agrees on what you like. You don't have to convince them of the information. You don't have to sway their minds that to get more healthy or that type of thing. It's something they already want to do or know they should do somewhere in their brain. The reason they're not doing it is because they don't have the motivation. And so a motivational speech is more to get people to do something when they already know they should, or when they already know it's the right thing to do. So there's no controversy, or there's no two sides of the story for a motivational speech. We all know we shouldn't lay on the couch and eat cheeseburgers and chocolate and watch Game of Thrones all day long. We know that's not healthy for us. We know we shouldn't chain smoke cigarettes. Like, the verdict is out on cigarettes, they're bad for you. But people do those things anyway. And so you can motivate them to stop doing that. But you can't really persuade them to stop smoking, because in their brains, they already know smoking is bad, or they already know eating too many cheeseburgers is bad, that type of thing. So you want to make sure that your persuasive speech is something that is actually persuasive and not motivational. The other end of the spectrum, the other side, is called coercion. And coercion, let's say I'm your boss, and I come in and I say, all right, everybody, we're here for a meeting today. I have a couple of announcements to make. First of all, I want to let everybody know that unfortunately we've come across some hard times, and we're going to be laying people off in the next 2 to 3 months. We're going to lay off about 1/3 of the employees here. And we just wanted to let you know so you're prepared. And we will be evaluating your work performance in the next couple of days and then making some decisions. On an unrelated note, we'd like people to volunteer to work this weekend. It's not required, so just let me know if you want to volunteer. Now, here's the thing. I said that working this weekend is volunteer, but I also said it right after I said that 1/3 of the employees were going to get fired. So the implication there is kind of, if you don't do this, there's a good chance you're going to get fired. And so you don't really have a choice in the matter. Technically, you have a choice, but it's not a very good choice. And that's one form of coercion. A stronger form of coercion is, somebody walks up to you with a gun and says, give me your money or I'm going to shoot you. Or your boss says, have sex with me or I'm going to fire you. That's a much more in-your-face form of coercion. And gentle coercion, we talk about coercion can really be any time that you are misleading or misadvising your audience in order to get them to do something. So even at its least forceful form, even providing the audience with misinformation or knowingly misconstruing the facts to try and make your point stronger could be considered a type of coercion. So we want to stay away from coercion. And so, this is stuff, if you want to do a speech on why God exists, that's one thing. But if you say to your audience, if you don't believe that God exists, you're going to burn in hell forever, that is where we start getting into coercion, okay? So you want to make sure that, and most of you won't choose a topic that's highly coercive, but you might start to add elements of coercion into your speech sometimes, I've seen. So you want to make sure that you're choosing a topic that's persuasive, not motivational, but then also you don't want to coerce your audience. Okay. So for this, you should be reading chapter 15 in your book. It's the persuasives chapter. Also, you should look in the folder. I highly encourage you. The outline is very, very detailed. We're going to be using the motivated sequence design. And again, I will talk to you about that on Wednesday. We're going to use the motivated sequence design. So you might want to take a look at that. There's also an article in the folder that talks about, I think it's from 2015 maybe. And it basically was like the top 10 current issues of the day, or like that. So that you might want to read that article. It might give you an idea of, if you're having trouble coming up with a topic, something that you might want to talk about. Other things that I tell people to keep in mind: choose something that's interesting to you, that has some sort of relevance, or something that you want to learn more about, or something that's important to you, something that you would fight about, or that you have strong feelings for, versus just, oh, I'm going to pick this topic. And try to think about your audience as well. Think about what would be interesting for your audience to learn about. You don't want to choose something that people have heard about a million times over and over again. Okay, so your goal for Wednesday is to be thinking about your persuasive speech topic. Your intro is going to be due by Friday. Okay, so I'm throwing that out there now. So if you have your topic in mind, you can get that started, and then take the quiz for chapters 9 and 10. All right. Okay, I will see you all on Wednesday, and we will talk about the format for your persuasive speech, the motivated sequence design then. Have a good day, everyone.